Hello, BBN. Big moves in Kentucky's recruiting with Pope? Let's dive in. But first, make sure to subscribe for more updates from the Cats. The Kentucky Wildcats are once again demonstrating their commitment to top-tier recruiting as Coach Mark Pope and his assistant Jason Hart continue their nationwide campaign to attract elite talent. Recently, they visited two of the biggest prospects in the 2026 class, point guard Brandon McCoy Jr. and forward Christian Collins, both from California. The fact that Pope and Hart traveled to California for these visits is a clear sign that Kentucky is serious about securing the best talents for the next generation of college basketball players. McCoy Jr., currently ranked as the #1 player in the 2026 class, is being sought after by nearly every program in the country, including powerhouses like UCLA, Kansas, Duke, and Alabama. The competition for his commitment will be fierce, but the fact that Kentucky scheduled a visit so early in his recruitment process shows that the Wildcats are determined to make their presence felt and compete with the giants of college basketball. Brandon McCoy Jr. has already demonstrated playing skills that mark him as the top player in his class. With impressive ball handling, refined game vision, and the ability to finish around the basket, he has the complete package that any basketball program would desire. Kentucky's early involvement in his recruitment could be the difference maker the program needs to secure a commitment from a player of this magnitude. And with Mark Pope at the helm, McCoy Jr. would have the chance to grow under a coach who has historically been able to develop talent and prepare them for the next level. On the other hand, Christian Collins, also from St. John Bosco, is quickly rising in the rankings. He is now considered a 5-star forward, according to the 247 Sports Composite rankings, and has attracted the attention of several heavyweight programs, including USC, UCLA, and Kansas. Collins brings a commanding physique and versatility, something that could greatly benefit the Kentucky system. His ability to play multiple positions and contribute both defensively and offensively makes him a highly coveted prospect. Pope and Hart's visit to the forward highlights the strategic approach Kentucky is adopting with Collins. By showing interest early in his recruitment process, the Wildcats have the chance to build a solid relationship and position themselves as one of the favorites when he decides on his future university. For Collins, having the opportunity to play for a renowned program like Kentucky, under the leadership of Mark Pope, could be a decisive factor in his final decision. This early stage of recruitment is crucial, and Mark Pope seems willing to invest all the necessary time and effort to ensure that Kentucky remains among the top recruitment destinations in the country. By establishing such close contact with key players in the 2026 class, the Wildcats recruitment team is planting seeds that could bear fruit in the coming years. The visit to McCoy Jr. and Collins is just one example of how Kentucky is always thinking ahead, aiming to maintain its prominent position in the college basketball scene. It's no surprise that Kentucky remains one of the top destinations for elite basketball players. With a tradition that includes multiple national championships and an impressive track record of players going to the NBA, the Wildcats are a natural choice for any young player dreaming of following in the footsteps of the greats who have passed through Lexington. And we hope they see it. The ongoing work of Pope and Hart also reflects the importance of a personalized approach in recruiting. By making these personal visits and showing genuine interest in the development of young players, Kentucky is building a connection that goes beyond offers and rankings. This kind of attention to detail is what can set the program apart when it comes time for players to make their final decisions. Moreover, Pope and his team have been astute in focusing not just on the class of 2025, which is already being shaped, but also on 2026, where talents like McCoy Jr. and Collins lie. What do you think? Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the subscription button. The Kentucky Wildcats, under Mark Pope, continue their quest for elite talents, this time targeting Tajh Ariza, one of the most sought-after prospects in the 2026 class. Ariza, notable for being the son of former NBA champion Trevor Ariza, is a forward with exceptional on-court skills and a legacy that adds significant weight to his name in the basketball scene. Ariza, who recently received a scholarship offer from Kentucky, is already on the radar of several top universities. In addition to Kentucky, heavyweight programs such as Kansas, UCLA, Washington, and USC are also eyeing this young talent. The Californian prospect currently ranks 6th overall in his class according to 247 Sports Composite and is second among forwards. This ranking underscores his significance as a recruitment target, and Kentucky's offer further solidifies the basketball program's interest in securing top-level names. The young Ariza began his journey at St. Bernard High School, but recently transferred to Westchester Senior High School. Not only the school where his father, Trevor Ariza, excelled, but also one with a strong tradition in California high school basketball. This move to his father's alma mater seems to have brought out even more of his potential, drawing the attention of major universities. Kentucky's decision to invest in a player like Ariza is not only strategic, but also symbolizes Mark Pope's effort to revitalize recruitment in an area where the program faced challenges under John Calipari's leadership. While Calipari was extremely successful on many fronts, recruiting on the West Coast, specifically in California, was not one of his major achievements. However, Pope has a considerable advantage with the recent addition of Jason Hart to his coaching staff. Hart, who has deep ties to the West Coast basketball scene, could be a key element in ensuring that names like Tajh Ariza seriously consider Kentucky as their university destination. Ariza is a versatile player who has already proven he can be a dominant force both offensively and defensively. His wingspan and athletic ability make him a threat across various court areas. He not only inherits his father's legacy as an NBA player, but is also forging his own path as one of the best in his class. His development at Westchester, under the guidance of a school known for producing top-level talent, could be a crucial differentiator for Kentucky in the recruitment process. Kentucky's offer is also a clear signal that Pope is committed to bringing diverse players to the team. Although California recruitment has not been a successful area in the recent past, Pope's approach and his team's efforts are promising, especially with the involvement of Jason Hart. Hart has a respected reputation in the West Coast recruitment scene, and his experience and connections might be precisely what Kentucky needs to make inroads into territories previously unexplored by the program. This more personalized and focused approach to specific areas may yield positive results soon, particularly with Hart's ability to open doors in places that were previously difficult to penetrate. If Pope and his team can secure a player like Ariza, it could mark the beginning of a new era for Kentucky's recruitment, especially concerning California, a state that produces some of the finest basketball talents each year. A big move by Pope and his team. Let's move forward. For the Kentucky Wildcats, who are undergoing a comprehensive overhaul under the leadership of Mark Pope, one name in particular is starting to garner attention: Jackson Robinson. Robinson has proven to be a key component for Kentucky's ambitions this season, being included in Andy Katz's list, a renowned college basketball analyst, as one of the best forwards in the country. However, the position Robinson occupies has generated some buzz. Katz ranked him 10th, a mark that, apparently, does not align with the player's own expectations. In response to this ranking, Robinson posted on social media a direct message: keeping receipts, a phrase that clearly indicates he feels underestimated and ready to prove he deserves a higher spot. This response not only reflects Robinson's confidence in his potential, but also signifies the focus and determination he will bring to the season. As a significant transfer, he has much to prove on a team that is looking to restructure and reaffirm itself as one of the leading forces in college basketball. If Robinson can surpass his current ranking and establish himself as one of the best forwards in the country, it will be a clear sign that the Kentucky Wildcats are in excellent shape to contend for titles and make noise in the SEC. Adding Robinson to Kentucky's lineup represents yet another strategic move by Pope to strengthen the team, especially in a crucial position like forward. Robinson brings a unique combination of height, agility, and a precise touch from long range, attributes that make him a threat both on the perimeter and in transition situations. More than just a player with technical skill, Robinson's attitude of keeping receipts reveals a winning mindset, something essential for a team looking to reclaim its glory under new leadership. Robinson's comments should not be viewed merely as a reaction to a simple ranking, but as a reflection of the team's mindset at this moment. A squad eager to surprise critics and prove that they can compete at the highest level, regardless of external predictions. Andy Katz's ranking is undoubtedly respectable, but it's important to remember that these initial assessments are based on various variables that can change dramatically as the season progresses. It seems Robinson is determined to redefine his position on the court, proving that his impact on Kentucky will go far beyond a mere ranking. If he and the Wildcats can turn this motivation into tangible results, it would not be surprising to see Kentucky emerge as one of the dominant forces in the SEC and college basketball. Robinson's response on social media, as simple as it may be, carries significant weight. It shows a player determined to silence critics and establish himself as one of the top names in college basketball this season. And for Kentucky, this could be a major motivating factor. Now, it remains to be seen how this mindset will translate on the court. If Robinson's attitude reflects in the team's collective performance, the Big Blue Madness, the annual event that marks the beginning of the season, promises to be even more exciting. And the game goes on. The recent defeat of the Kentucky Wildcats to South Carolina exposed some vulnerabilities in the team, particularly in the performance of the offensive line. Quarterback Brock Vandagriff, who started the season with a promising performance, encountered significant difficulties in the second week, consistently pressured by the opposing defense. Kentucky's offensive line allowed 5 sacks and a series of pressures that limited their ability to execute effective plays. Vandagriff completed only 3 of his 10 passes for a total of 30 yards, a clear reflection of the impact of South Carolina's stifling defense. Despite the uninspiring numbers, Coach Mark Stoops showed firm support for both the young quarterback and offensive line coach, Eric Wolford. Stoops' stance is clear. He believes the problems faced are not solely on Vandagriff's shoulders. During his statement, Stoops emphasized that the quarterback was not the only one to blame for the team's poor performance. The lack of protection from the offensive line significantly hampered the player's performance, preventing Vandagriff from demonstrating his skills and making more composed decisions. Stoops' confidence in Vandagriff is noteworthy. He recalled the quarterback's solid performance in the first week and pointed out that one bad game does not define the future of an athlete with so much potential. Stoops highlighted Vandagriff's resilient character, stressing that he is strong enough to overcome this difficult moment and that there is still a lot of confidence in his ability to lead the team. We saw Brock play very well in the first game of the season, and everyone knows what he is capable of. What happened last Saturday was not all his fault. We didn't give him enough time to adjust or even a chance to really do what he knows. Let's be honest, he was under pressure the whole time, said Stoops. He also emphasized the need for the team as a whole to improve quarterback protection to ensure that Vandagriff's talents can be fully utilized. Stoops also made a point to highlight the work of Eric Wolford, the offensive line coach, who recently returned to Kentucky after a 2-season stint at Alabama. Wolford had previously worked in Lexington, and in 2021 he helped the Big Blue Wall become finalists for the Joe Moore Award, given to the best offensive line in college football. Wolford's return to Kentucky was widely seen as a positive step to revitalize the power of the Wildcats' offensive line, but the challenge is now greater, given the difficulties shown in the last game. I have unbelievable confidence in Coach Wolf, especially in the way he recruits and trains, stated Stoops. He recognizes that Wolford is a crucial piece in rebuilding the strength of Kentucky's offensive line and believes that Wolford's experience and expertise will significantly contribute to the team's adjustment and provide the necessary protection for Vandagriff in upcoming games. The coach's confidence in the recovery process and the players' ability to overcome challenges is also a powerful message for the locker room. It demonstrates that, even in the face of adversity, Stoops is committed to the idea of growth and development of his team, instead of yielding to the pressure for immediate changes. He knows the potential is there, and it is just a matter of aligning the pieces for Kentucky to show its true capabilities. The next step for Kentucky will be crucial. The ability to correct the mistakes observed against South Carolina and provide more effective protection for Vandagriff will determine the course of the season. If the offensive line can stabilize under Wolford's leadership and Vandagriff finds his rhythm again, the team can still have a successful season. With Stoops' experience and Wolford's competence at the helm, the Wildcats have all the tools to bounce back. The game continues. The Kentucky Wildcats' preparation for this Saturday's showdown against the country's #1 team, the Georgia Bulldogs, comes with significant challenges. This week's injury report brought news that could crucially impact Coach Mark Stoops' team's performance as they seek to recover from last week's defeat. The absence of some starters and the uncertainty around other players' conditions leave the Wildcats in a precarious situation, especially when facing a team as dominant as the Bulldogs. For Kentucky, 2 offensive linemen are highlighted in the report: Yeager Burton, who is listed as doubtful for the match, and Gerald Mincey, who will likely be available. Burton's potential absence could be a severe blow to the Wildcats' offensive line, which has already faced significant struggles in recent games. The game against South Carolina, where quarterback Brock Vandagriff was sacked 5 times, showcased the line's vulnerability, and losing a piece like Burton certainly increases the pressure on substitutes and offensive line coach Eric Wolford, who will need to quickly adjust his strategy to keep the line strong against Georgia's physical defense. Another concern for Kentucky is defensive back Maxwell Hairston, who appears as probable in the report. Hairston is a key player in the defensive backfield, and his presence could be vital to contain the Bulldogs' aerial attack. The Wildcats' defense will need all its players in top form to handle Georgia's offensive aggression, and any absences or physical limitations could be decisive in such a tightly contested matchup. Additionally, Chip Trayanum, a crucial running back in the Wildcats' offensive scheme, is once again out due to a broken hand recovery. His absence, combined with the uncertainty surrounding true freshman Jason Patterson, who is dealing with an unspecified injury, adds extra pressure on Kentucky's ground game. Trayanum is known for his strength and ability to create explosive plays, attributes that will be sorely missed in a game where ball control will be crucial. The situation for the Wildcats is not the only one to watch. The Georgia Bulldogs also face their share of challenges, with news that could change the dynamics of the game. The possible absence of Michael Williams, projected as the overall #1 pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, is a significant blow to the Dogs' defensive line. Williams, a dominant force in Georgia's defense, is listed as doubtful due to an ankle injury sustained in the season opener against Clemson. His absence was already felt in the victory against Tennessee Tech, and if he is unavailable this Saturday, Kentucky's offensive line might get some additional breathing room to protect Vandagriff and establish the run. The impact of Williams' absence goes beyond the stats. He is a cornerstone of the Bulldogs' defense, known for his ability to break through blocks and consistently pressure the opposing quarterback. Without him, Georgia's defense loses one of its greatest weapons, which could give Kentucky a chance to better exploit gaps in the Dogs' front seven. This would also place more responsibility on Williams' substitutes, who will have to fill a massive gap in terms of talent and experience. In addition to Williams, Georgia will also be without backup running back Roderick Robinson II, which slightly limits their options in the backfield. While Robinson's absence is not as significant as Williams, it is still a loss that could affect the rotation and freshness of the Bulldogs' runners, especially in a game that could stretch into the final moments. Mark Stoops and his team are aware of the magnitude of the challenge they will face. Georgia, even with its own injuries, remains a team of the highest level, with depth and talent in nearly every position. However, the next man up spirit is something Stoops will surely instill in his team. The Wildcats have proven on other occasions that they are capable of exceeding expectations when the odds are against them, and this will be crucial for any chance of victory on Saturday. The key for Kentucky will be to limit mistakes and make the most of any opportunities that arise. With the potential absence of Michael Williams, there is a chance for Van Dagriff to have more time in the pocket, which could be the difference in finding his receivers and keeping the offense moving. The defense, on the other hand, needs to be at its best level, especially against Georgia's ground game, which remains one of the country's biggest threats. Despite the immense challenges, Coach Mark Stoops has repeatedly demonstrated his ability to prepare his players for big games. What's your take? Comment below.